One of the first questions that people always ask me is, where did the name Fatty Knees come from? And the story, as I have been told, is that about 75 years ago, when Lyle Hess sat down at the kitchen table and was designing the boat, his wife was giving their granddaughter a bath in what I can only imagine is an old soapstone sink. And when the wife, like most grandmothers would do, was joking with the granddaughter and gave her a little poke and said, "You're a chubby little thing," and the granddaughter looked at her and said, "Grammy, but you have fatty knees." The first few Fatty Knees were built out in Costa Mesa, California, by the Lyle Hess Boat Company. And then many, many years ago, Edie and Duff acquired the rights and the molds to it and was building them for, again, probably 50 years, 60 years. In its heyday, Edie and Duff was building 175 to 200 of these a year. We took over the company a few years ago and we're slowly bringing it back. And it's going to take a few years. But the Fatty Knees is still being built today as it was years ago, with fine quality equipment and a touch of old world craftsmanship. My partner John Diettenhoffer has been finishing off boats for many years, and he brings 40 years of craftsmanship to building the boats.
When I heard Dave was going to get involved with the Fatty Knees, I was gung-ho about it. I really always admired the boats when they were previously being built by Edie and Duff. So I was pleased as punch to get involved with the boat. And what I do is basically I get the bare hull and I get it into my shop and do all the finish work, all the teak work, the rub rails, build the rudders and dagger boards. Basically finish the boat, get it ready to get out the door.
This is an 8-footer that we're doing, and this boat happens to be done in Fighting Lady Yellow. We had a lot of requests. Can you do a Fatty Knees to match my boat? And we said, of course we can. Well, why not do that? All teak trimmed on the inside, and we put this 100% Dacron with a very, very hard rubber inside in it to protect the sides of not only the Fatty Knees, but also the sides of the boat, which the Fatty Knees may be used as a tender. The boats, as a standard hull, come all set up with the mast partner, gudgeons on the stern of the boat, the centerboard trunk, so that if the time that you purchase a boat, you don't buy the sail kit, you can add that sail kit at any time to the boat, and nothing has to be done in order to turn it from a straight rowing tender into a sailing tender. What we do right here is we put leather patches over the gunnel guard, and this keeps the gunnel guard from getting stained from rowing, and also keeps the gunnel guard from wearing out. And we put all these stainless screws here. A lot of people have asked us, well, why don't you turn it under so that you get a more of just a line and you don't see the screws? And John and I have had a lot of conversations about that, but we probably ship out 1 or 2 gunnel guard kits a month out to people, excuse me, anywhere in the world. And this is a lot easier for them to replace it than if it was turned under and stapled. They're all teak floorboards, and this cutout here in the middle is so you can reach down to where we put a drain in. The plug comes with all the boats, so that if you're rowing or towing, you can just put that plug in and it keeps any water from splashing up, and that plug is held tight in there with a leather seal around the bottom. It goes in and nice and tight. What we have right here are lifting rings, and we can put lifting rings both on the outside of the stern, on the inside of the stern, and we also have them mounted forward in some cases so that people can lift it up on davits. What we do is on all the boats, we put a waterproof compartment in here so that you can put a camera Of course, you should never be bringing your cell phone out when you're sailing, but I almost said a cell phone in there. Who wants to have a cell phone with them when they're out quietly? The boat is a great boat to row, the Fatty Knees. It has a skeg on the bottom, so she tracks very, very nicely. That skeg, by the way, also has a sacrificial piece of teak and a sacrificial piece of bronze on it, so if you're dragging it up on the beach, you're not wearing out the bottom of your boat or the skeg. People ask me about oars. What size oars should you use with the boat? Well, we can sell you a standard set of oars, but the boat is so beautiful, it's so traditional. What I recommend to people, if they would like a set of oars that really complement the boat, that they call Steve up at Sean and Tenny up in Maine. They are the oldest paddle maker still in existence in the country. And they make absolutely beautiful oars of all different sizes, all different shapes, all different materials. And Steve will help you pick what is perfect to go along with your Fatty Knees and your budget. The other story I hear is how people, at the end of the day, they're out sailing, they're out cruising, whether it be on a sailboat, whether it be in a powerboat. They'll pull into a place, a beautiful spot like Hadley Harbor, and they'll put their Fatty Knees in the water, they'll rig the boat up, and they'll go sailing around the harbor. And there's always people looking at them saying, come over here, come over here. And they want to know what that is. What kind of a boat? That's a beautiful little boat. And for me as an owner of the company, to hear stories like that, it only confirms that the decision which I made and partnering up with John to continue the tradition of the Fatty Knees was the right decision to make. And we're very proud of that. And we look forward to meeting more and more of our friends at the boat show and hearing more and more stories.